My name is Kendra. I'm 25 years old and I work as a medical assistant at a clinic in Orlando. I live alone in a small apartment and to be honest, my budget is always tight. Still, I cherished those family gatherings, but there was one habit that suffocated me. They always ordered the most expensive dishes, the fanciest drinks, and when the bill came, it was the same line every time. We split it evenly. It's only fair. For months, I swallowed my frustration. I paid for my brother's pricey cocktails while sipping plain soda. I covered my parents' seafood and steak plates, even though I hadn't touched a bite. They knew my situation, but the pattern never changed over and over again. That Halloween night at the rented community hall, everything cracked open. They feasted on grilled octopus ribs, cocktails, and fancy desserts while I sat quietly with my soda. My brother laughed loud. Can't afford to eat, so just watching. My parents sneered, treating me like a punchline. When the $240 bill landed, my brother smirked, 60 each. I stood, took a deep breath, locked eyes with them, and said firmly, "Wrong person." The table froze, silence hanging thick. That was the spark that lit everything else to come. But before I continue, tell me, what time are you watching this? Where are you from? And have you ever gone through a family dinner like this yourself? To see why that Halloween night pushed me over the edge. Picture this 6 months earlier, when the load still seemed bearable, just one more stitch in the family quilt I hated to tear. Easter brunch unfolded by the lake, that serene Orlando inlet with egrets dipping and grass clippings sharp underfoot. We claimed a pavilion strung with lights, deli hall billed as Spring Awakening, charcuterie towers, and quiche wheels that screamed markup. Dad's SUV rumbled in first coolers, dumping me trailing with fruit salad scraps from the clearance aisle, my no-risk entry. Blaine, my older brother, claimed the order line, breezing up with his built-in poise. Menu board gleamed glazed hams, 25 per slice, goat cheese quiches, 20 more. Prime rib full cut, medium rare truffle fries, and mimosa tower. He barked. $50, zero pause. Dad thumped his back, affirming Mom skimmed prices but locked on Blaine's picks with a subtle head tilt. Plates steamed in. They tore through. I chose a plain garden salad, crunchy greens, tomato bursts, vinaigrette drizzle. $8 capped my buffer zone. Blaine zeroed in, fork stilled. Solo greens, round 2. Casual delivery, pointed bite. Dad carved his ribeye. Branch out, Kendra, add some fire. Mom edged near basket, extended. Too thrifty by half. Easter calls for indulgence. Jabs threaded the spread, gentle grazes that cut. Blaine replayed his car lot score, bonus slip waved like a flag. Dad lifted his merry. Boys got the touch, delivers every time. I nibbled edges, dressing curdling grin plastered tight. Check looped, 180 grand total. Blaine punched calc, 45 ahead, even keel. Salad at 8.10 tipped. Card forwarded, swipe, resounding resignation pooling low. Road back vents open, dread clawed steady. Voice it and the bridge burns, lines go dead. Feasts forsaken, decades of customs dust. Swallow instead, safeguard the thread for Dad's hook yarns or Mom's oven notes. Flawed kin, but the lifeline against shift marathons barely breaking even. Summer cranked the dial, tendrils coiling below. Backyard luau steamed the July haze, tiki flares, hugging the fence, store-bought kits, dumping lays and faux fruits on the deck sprawl. Dad grilled intent blaze, teasing pork spears and honeyed ribs. Blaine arrived, shirt screaming, cooler hauling $15 brews. Veggie sticks from my thrift haul ignored, he mounted ribs pre-chill. Hawaiian mac sauce, overload rum flight chase. He coached Dad, who seared extras on cue. Mom doled tacos but beefed Blaine's rice mound. Royal spread for you, she observed. Pineapple veggie spear, mine, unadorned sub $5 yield tangy counter to the fat veil. Dad tongs froze. Fruit fix rib raid, Kendra time flies. Blaine munched messy, sis sink up. Mom napkin passed. Luau rules not ration. Dive deep. Hours unspooled in talk tides, haze blending with repellents. Blaine steered narratives sealed, packed commission swell. Dad chair reclined, bottle hoisted, pillar of the family anchors us solid. Phrase glowed for Blaine, chilled me sidelined spear, tepid bite, souring sharp. Head bob tang, inverting anxiety, cresting contest, and the frame buckles summons cease. Snaps unposted tie, dissolves to void. Glide under discourse swirling by like shore gusts from the bay. Cart add-ons tallied 220 divided. Spear and tap water, $55 cut. Blaine carted lead, glanced expectant. Bills tendered starched in his hold echoing debts cued domestic. Mom eyed the exchange curve faint, unity play ties us secure. Seasons fuse to grit cadence rallies heaping pressure like storm buildup. Easter murmurs in summer salutes divvies mounting wordless. I cast it as bond toll versus loan tack in a scramble sprawl. Yet fissures webbed dread dueling a humflex until fracture. Back at the hall that night the costumes hid nothing. The masks of witches and ghosts couldn't cover the real tricks playing out at our table. The community center in our Florida neighborhood pulsed with Halloween energy, fake cobwebs draping the rafters, and a fog machine churning out misty haze that clung to everything. We'd arrived mid-evening, the lot packed with minivans and sedans, families spilling in for the annual bash sponsored by the HOA. Inside the buffet line snaked long steam trays groaning under carved pumpkins stuffed with chili and platters of mini sliders slathered in gourmet sauces. Laughter bounced off the walls, kids darting between legs in capes, but our corner felt like a spotlight waiting to ignite. Blaine led the charge to the food stations, his vampire cape fluttering dramatically as he loaded a tray with abandon. He bypassed the veggie dips and cheese cubes, zeroing in on the premium end, blackened shrimp skewers glazed in garlic butter for $25 a portion, followed by loaded nachos topped with Wagyu beef crumbles, and truffle oil drizzle at another $20, then a round of spiked pumpkin lattes from the bar cart, $18 each. By the time he circled back, his tab hovered at $70 personal, the server ringing it up with a nod like it was routine. Harlan Dad trailed close, adding his own haul of buffalo wings slathered in house-made hot honey for $30 and a craft IPA flight that tacked on 15 more, his plate balanced like a trophy. Marla Mom opted for elegant, selecting seared foie gras bites on brioche with fig jam for $35 and a glass of mulled wine from the specialty list, $12 neat. They settled at our reserved table near the DJ booth, the bass from Monster Mash thumping low. I hung back tray light with just a handful of plain pretzels from the free snack bowl and a cup of tap water. No charge, no risk. Blaine spotted it, immediately raising his latte in a mock toast that drew eyes from nearby groups. Here's to Kendra's on her water diet again, staying pure in a sea of sinners. The words landed with a chuckle from him, amplified by the mic he'd grabbed for fun, echoing slightly over the crowd noise. Heads turned a few polite smiles, but the sting hit home. Harlan leaned in his devil horns askew, sneering through a wing bite. Work harder, Kendra, earn a real bite next time. Marla followed with a light laugh, her witch hat tilting as she sipped her wine. Oh, honey, it's all in fun. Loosen that belt a notch. The jabs kept coming, timed with each course like scripted beats. Blaine speared a shrimp, waving it my way. One of these could change your night, divine intervention. Harlan nodded, sauce on his chin. Man up, the menu, kid, opportunities don't wait. Marla chimed softer, passing a napkin. We're just teasing, join the spirit. I forced a nod, water glass sweating in my grip, the pretzels turning to cardboard in my mouth. The table conversation shifted to Blaine's latest dealership coup, a luxury SUV sale that padded his commissions, Harlan slapping the table in pride. That's how you build legacy, bold moves. Marla beamed, refilling his latte. Our star closer. I sat silent. The fog machine's chill seeping in, that familiar knot tightening. Why fight the current when it might wash me out entirely? As plates cleared, Blaine signaled for dessert rounds, chocolate-dipped apple slices in caramel fondue $15 per share, and candy corn martinis laced with vodka for another $12. The server tallied it all, the receipt printer whirring like a verdict. Blaine snatched the folder, eyes scanning 240 total. Family shares even 60 each, keeps the bond tight. My water and pretzels under $5 at most. The words hung the table, stilling as forks paused. Wait, I said, voice steadying despite the quake inside. I had nothing but water. 60 for that. No. Blaine's cape shifted as he leaned forward. Come on, Kendra, it's tradition. We all pitch in, no exceptions. Harlan set his glass down hard. Don't start drama now, pull your end. Marla reached across. Sweetie, it's simpler this way. You benefited from the vibe. Heat flushed my cheeks, years of swallows rising like bile. Benefited from watching you rack up 70 while I sip free. Blaine scoffed. Always the calculator. Family first, split it. Harlan's sneer deepened. Grow up, Kendra. Life's not itemized. Marla's laugh faltered. Let's not sour the evening. The nearby tables quieted, ears perking. I stood chair scraping loud against the tile, fishing out $6 from my wallet, double the tip for the server who'd stayed neutral. Not this time. Wrong person to hit up. Blaine's mouth opened. Harlan's eyes narrowed. Marla's hand froze mid-air. I turned, weaving through the costumed crowd, the door's cool rush hitting my face as I pushed out into the parking lot. Legs trembled under the streetlights, heart pounding like the bass I'd left behind, but a spark ignited rage mixed with something new, a flicker of pride that I'd finally drawn the line. No more silent payer in the shadows. By the next morning, the fallout hit hard, sunlight slicing through my apartment blinds like accusations I couldn't dodge. I'd crashed on the couch after the drive home, still in my half-hearted ghost sheet from the party, the fabric tangled around my legs as sleep evaded me. The phone buzzed incessantly on the coffee table screen, lighting up with notifications that piled like debris after a storm. I rubbed my eyes, the room smelling of stale takeout from last night, and grabbed at our family group chat, the clan forever, exploding with over 20 messages since midnight. Blaine started it, his post time-stamped 11:45 p.m. right after I'd peeled out of the lot. Kendra bailed on family fun tonight, left us hanging with the bill. Some people just can't handle the holiday spirit. Attached was a photo of the table mid-chaos, our empty chairs circled like evidence, his vampire cape draped over the back of mine. Harlan Dad liked it first, the heart icon popping up at 11:47, followed by a thumbs-down emoji from him at 12:02. Disappointing, he typed in the thread, short and sharp, the kind of verdict that stuck. Marla Mom jumped in at 12:15. So embarrassing, everyone staring. Kendra, call us, we need to talk this out. Family doesn't do walkouts. Her words carried that mix of concern and blame, the ones she'd honed over years of smoothing edges. The replies snowballed from there, aunts and uncles chiming in with question marks and sad faces, cousins dropping, "What happened?" threads that Blaine fed with half-truths. She flipped over the split, acted like we owed her. By 1 a.m. the chat hit 50 messages, a digital bonfire roasting me from afar. I scrolled, frozen thumb hovering over the mute button, each ping a fresh jab to the gut. Harlan added fuel at 8:30 a.m. Grown adults settle up, end of story. Marla followed. Hurt feelings all around. Come home, sweetie. No apology, just the implication that I'd shattered the night single-handedly. The vibration jolted me again at 9:15, a call from Aunt Clara, my mom's older sister, the one who hosted Thanksgiving every year and always played referee in our squabbles. I hesitated, then swiped accept, her voice crackling through on speaker as I paced the kitchenette. Kendra, honey, I saw the chat, Blaine's blowing it up. You okay? Her tone was steady, the Florida drawl softened by genuine worry. I sank onto a stool, words tumbling out in fragments, the toast, the sneers, the demand for 60 on nothing. Clara listened without interrupting, her end silent except for occasional hums. When I trailed off, she sighed deep. They always do this to you, don't they? Blaine struts like King Harlan backs him blind. Marla tiptoes around it. It's not fair. Never was. You stood up for once, and that's brave, not bailout. Her validation washed over me like cool relief, the first crack in the isolation's grip. Clara, with her no-nonsense nurse shifts and endless patience for family mess, had seen it all. Blaine's wins, overshadowing my quiet grinds, Harlan's tough love landing hardest on me, Marla's peacemaking that buried resentment. Don't let their spin rewrite you, she added. You're the steady one here. Call if you need backup, I'm just 20 minutes over. We hung after 10 minutes, her words lingering as I stared at the chat, now at 65 messages, Blaine pinning his post to the top. Another ring pulled me back, my phone screen flashing Mia's name, my college roommate turned best friend, the one who'd moved to Tampa but checked in weekly with memes and vent sessions. Girl, what the hell? That group chat's a war zone spill. I answered, voice cracking, as I recapped the bare bones, skipping the raw ache. Mia let me ramble, her background noise of traffic fading as she focused. 5 minutes in, she cut gentle. Listen, they're projecting their crap. Don't let them define you as the villain. You're the one building solo, paying your way real. Block if you need space. I've got your back. Her advice hit simple, no fluff, the kind from someone who'd cut her own toxic ties last year. We wrapped quick, her laugh, pulling a small one from me. Halloween curse broken. Text me your next shift break. But the quiet after calls amplified the void. I avoided dialing home the landline on the wall, a relic I hadn't touched in months. Harlan's gruff, hello, echoing in memory. Texts from Marla piled unread. We love you, let's fix this. Each one twisting the knife of solitude. The apartment felt smaller, walls pressing in with unpacked boxes from my last move, the fridge humming lonely. No invites to brunch, no casual, how's work. Pings, just the chat's echo chamber painting me as the outsider. I wandered to the window, Orlando's palm fronds swaying indifferent, that pride from last night curdling into a hollow echo. Family ties, once the safety net, now snagged me in there. A few days later, I needed air outside the family bubble, so I texted Tyler about grabbing coffee at the corner diner off I-4, the one with vinyl booths and bottomless pots that felt like neutral ground. Tyler, my cousin on mom's side, and Aunt Clara's son, had always been the easygoing type, the guy who fixed my flat tire last year without a lecture. He replied quick. On it, 11 a.m. I showed up early, the bell jingling over the door as I slid into a booth by the window. The smell of hash browns and bacon grease grounding me in something normal. Tyler arrived 5 minutes later, his mechanic's shirt still smudged from the garage, sliding in across with a black coffee and a grin that cut the tension. Rough week, Clara filled me in a bit, said the chat's a circus. I nodded, stirring my herbal tea, steam rising like a barrier. Tyler leaned back, mug in hand, and launched without prompt. Look, I've been there. Remember Uncle Ron's fishing trip 2 summers back? They loaded the boat with all that gear, rental $200 easy, and expected me to cover half for family bonding. I had Jack then fresh out of tech school. Blaine pushed hardest. Cousins share the load. I paid up, seethed, silent, but it burned. You're not alone in that trap. His story landed solid, no pity, just shared grit, the kind from someone who'd navigated the same uneven waters without drowning. The door swung again, and in walked Zoe, Tyler's younger sister, and my cousin, once removed, the college kid with purple-streaked hair and a backpack slung low. She'd tagged along unannounced, sliding next to Tyler with a vanilla latte and a quick wave. Heard the buzz, mind if I crash? Neutral as ever, Zoe stayed out of the fray, usually snapping pics at gatherings, but rarely picking sides. I shrugged okay, and as Tyler wrapped his tail, she nodded slow, stirring her drink. That's right, it's the same script every time. They act like equality means ignoring who's carrying what. Saw it at Grandma's last birthday. You bring the pie from scratch, they bring store cake, and split the catering tab blind. Her words hung simple, no fire, but the agreement eased the knot in my chest like permission to see it clear. Aunt Clara arrived last. Her nurse scrubs swapped for jeans and a light sweater, hugging me across the table before settling with decaf. "Brought reinforcements," she said, eyeing the group. Conversation flowed easy after that. Tyler's garage woes, Zoe's art class rants, but circled back when Clara steered it gentle. "Boundaries aren't walls. Kendra, they're doors you control. Tell them your limit next time. If they push, that's on them. You've earned your space." Tyler jumped in. "Yeah, like I started doing. I'll cover my bait, you got yours." "Shuts it down polite," Zoe added. "Or just opt out quiet. No guilt." Their chorus wrapped around me, not fixing the ache, but buffering it, the diner's hum fading as laughter crept in for the first time in days. The weekend after that buffer tested at a small family cookout in Aunt Clara's backyard, the kind thrown for no reason but keeping connected grill smoke and folding chairs under string lights. I'd gone mostly for Tyler and Zoe parking at the curb and slipping in quiet. The group milled loose, Harlan flipping burgers while Marla mixed punch Blaine, holding court by the cooler with his latest work brag. I stuck to the fringes, chatting Zoe about her sketches, when voices drifted from the side yard near the shed. Blaine and Marla, low but clear over the sizzle. Blaine's tone carried first bottle clinking. Kendra's stunt last week. Classic storms out like we're the villains. Doesn't know how to save face in a crowd. Marla hummed agreement, stirring her cup. I tried smoothing it, but she's dug in. Harlan's fuming, says it's ungrateful. We bend over for her invites, and this... Blaine snorted. Let her sulk solo. Family's better without the drag. Their words sliced fresh, the casual dismissal hitting like confirmation of every swallowed slight. I froze behind the fence, slat pulse quickening, Zoe's hand on my arm pulling me back before they spotted. As the evening wound down, Marla caught me by the dessert table, her smile practiced. "Kendra, glad you came. Blaine's birthday's coming up, nothing big, just a hall rental like Halloween. Could you handle decor and cake? You're so good at that thoughtful touch." The ask landed, loaded eyes expectant. I nodded neutral. "Sure, I'll think on it." Driving home, the eavesdrop replayed Marla's invite, twisting it sharper, another hook disguised as help. But Clara's boundary talk echoed Tyler's story, a reminder time to choose my doors. Those 2 weeks I turned their invitation into my strategy, mapping out Blaine's birthday bash like a chessboard where I controlled the queen. Marla's ask for decor and cake had landed casual, but I saw the bait, another chance to load me with costs while they feasted free. No more. I dove into local listings on my laptop that first afternoon, coffee cooling beside me in the apartment's dim light, fingers flying across keys for Orlando area vendors who catered to budget events without skimping on polish. First hit a party rental shop in Winter Park, 15 minutes east, specializing in themed kits for under $100. I called Tuesday, voice steady. Halloween holdover orange and black balloons, metallic banners, table runners with subtle ghost motifs. How's $90 for a 20-person setup? The owner, a gruff guy named Vic, quoted exact delivery, included no haggling needed. Cake came next via a small bakery in Altamonte Springs, the kind run by a family with online reviews raving about custom work on the cheap. Email thread, Wednesday, 3-tier vanilla with buttercream ghosts and candy corn accent serves $140 pickup Saturday. Total tallied $260 stretched across my credit line, but locked in by Thursday, receipts printed and filed like ammunition. I even sourced thrift store props, black lace tablecloths for $15 at Goodwill, orange LED candles from a dollar store run, turning thrift into threat. Saturday dawned humid, the hall mirroring the Halloween spot, same community center now strung with my rented banners fluttering in the AC vents. I arrived at noon, Vic's truck idling curbside as we unloaded, balloons bobbing like dark sun's runners, draping tables in sleek contrast, the ghost banners catching light just right. 2 hours of setup solo ladder borrowed from the venue, sweat beading under my simple black dress, but the room transformed elegant haunt, not tacky fright, the LED flicker adding warmth without waste. Guests trickled in by 6 cousins and neighbors in casual attire. Blaine strutting center in a button-down Marla, fluttering with compliments. "Kendra, this is stunning, you outdid yourself." Harlan clapped my shoulder. Classy touch, proud of the effort. I smiled tight, circulating with a tray of non-alcoholic punches I'd mixed cheap from bulk juice. Blaine cut the cake at 8 candles flickering on the tears I'd iced smooth that morning, the crowd singing off-key but genuine. I ordered a side salad from the caterer's light menu, mixed greens with balsamic $12 crisp, picking at it while keeping the energy high, refilling drinks, snapping group shots on my phone, even leading a quick trivia round on old family stories that had Tyler cracking up and Zoe snapping pics. Laughter filled the space, Blaine toasting, "To another year wiser." His arm around Marla, the room buzzing like I'd woven magic. For a beat, it felt almost real. The connector, not the mark. Then the server dropped the folder at 9:30, total $1,700 for 25 heads. Blaine snagging it with a flourish. "Even split 68 each. Let's wrap strong." My salad share, 15 max with tip. The math flashed, old rage simmering. "Actually," I said, rising smooth, "I need to head out early shift tomorrow." Marla blinked. "Wait, the bill." I pulled $25 from my clutch, laying it precise. "Covers mine plus extra, enjoy the rest." Blaine's brow furrowed. "Kendra, sit, we handle together." Harlan shifted. "Not now, settle up." But I waved light. Already contributed big on setup. Night all. Weaves through well wishes door, clicking shut behind the hall's hum muffled. Phone lit up in the lot. Blaine's text storming, "Get back here now, what the hell, can't ditch again." Followed by Marla, "This isn't you talk." Harlan, irresponsible move. I silenced it, engine turning over, a grin cracking, despite the tremor payback served sweet, the weight lifting as taillights faded into night. The messages piled up, but I had proof ready, a folder of crisp receipts tucked in my glove box like a loaded deck. Blaine's "Get back here now" from the party night had snowballed into a barrage by Sunday voicemails from Marla pleading, "Talk it out." Harlan's curt, disappointing choice. Even a cousin's confused, "Saw the drama, what's up?" I let them stack the phone, a hot coal I avoided until the group chat reignited midweek with Blaine's fresh narrative. It kicked off Tuesday, his post pinned above the birthday aftermath. "Kendra abandoned my birthday last night, ditched the bill and bolted again. Family's about showing up, not selective exits. Who's with me?" Attached a screenshot of the empty chair photo from the hall, time-stamped for effect. Harlan jumped in quick. "Family must stay till the end, can't cherry-pick obligations." His words landed like law, the thumbs up from a few uncles piling on. Marla followed at noon. "Kendra, this selfish streak hurts us all. We include you, not exclude." The thread ballooned, cousins questioning details, aunts murmuring, "Sad to see." Blaine stoking with replies. She organized decor, but ghosted the clothes, unreliable. By evening, 40 notifications, the air in my apartment thick with unspoken replies I typed and deleted. Sunday's casual post-Halloween potluck at Uncle Greg's patio loomed like Judgment Day, a low-key grill-out with sides and stories, the kind meant to reset after spats. I showed armed folder under arm pulling up in the driveway amid the sizzle of sausages and chatter of lawn chairs. Relatives milled, Zoe sketching by the cooler, Tyler flipping patties, Clara waving from the picnic table. Blaine held court near the grill, retelling the abandonment with animated gestures, Harlan nodding, solemn Marla circulating lemonade with forced smiles. Eyes flicked my way as I joined the edge plate light with coleslaw. Midway through Harlan's potato salad speech on unity, I cleared my throat, folder open on the table. Before we toast more, let's get facts straight. I spent $260 already on that party. I fanned the receipt's rental invoice stamped $90 for banners and lights, bakery receipt for the $140 tiered cake, even the $30 thrift props line. Decor cake setup, my contribution was full. $25 covered my salad, the rest, yours to own. The patio hushed, forks pausing. Zoe leaned in first, eyes wide. You're right, that's more than fair. They gloss that part. Tyler nodded. Numbers don't lie, good call sharing. Blaine's face tightened, burger midway. It's not about math, it's commitment. You left us to explain. Harlan went quiet, gaze dropping to his plate, the usual bark absent as relatives shifted. Marla flushed lemonade pitcher, wobbling. We didn't mean... It's just the principle. Murmurs rippled, cousin Greg muttering. She did pull weight. An aunt chiming, 260, that's generous. Zoe pressed. Why twist it then? Blaine pushed back. She knew the deal, group covers group. But the tide turned, nods leaning my way, Clara squeezing my hand under the table. Harlan finally spoke low. Point taken. Marla trailed off, flustered, the gathering fracturing into side talks that favored my side. Fast forward through the holidays and everything shifted, the Florida chill of December giving way to January's tentative sun as I stepped into a rhythm all my own. The potluck flip had quieted the chat for a week, but Blaine's grudges simmered, sporadic jabs like some folks pick and choose, popping up before I muted it, permanent. Freelance calls trickled in first from Clara. My neighbors throwing a quinceañera want the gig. I jumped, coordinating florals and seating for 50 at a local venue, pulling $800 clear after costs. Tyler looped in next. Friends baby shower, your touch. That netted 600 more string lights and custom banners shipped from the same Winter Park spot. By February, word spread through the extended circle. Zoe's art crowd needed a gallery opening setup, Greg's HR network a retirement luau. The big score landed in March, organizing a cousin's lakeside wedding for 80 guests from arch rentals to dessert bars, clocking $2,200 after haggling vendors down. Clara and Tyler handled intros there, Kendra's the pro endorsements, opening doors I hadn't knocked. My apartment evolved, 2 spare rooms stacked with sample swatches, laptop humming with client emails, the freelance hustle turning side gig to steady stream enough to buffer rent hikes and stock a real emergency fund. Cutting ties sealed it that New Year's when Marla's invite pinged for the annual oyster roast. Come heal, miss you. I stared at the screen, thumb on delete, then blocked the group entire, the clan forever, vanishing like smoke. No more scrolls of blame, no phantom vibrations at night. Subsequent calls from Marla went to voicemail. We can move past this. Ignored until the well dried. Teak skipped, became habit. Easter passed with Tyler's small crew summer luau, a memory I skipped for a beach, read alone. Blaine unraveled first, isolation creeping like kudzu. Lost invites, piled cousins citing awkward vibes. Aunts dodging his calls after the potluck truth. Stress mounted at the dealership, quotas missed amid rants, culminating in a blowout with his girlfriend of 2 years. Your family's poison, you choose them over us. She walked, leaving him to solo nights, scrolling old photos the golden boy dimmed. Harlan and Marla hollowed slower, the house echoing with empty chairs, Harlan's blood pressure spiking from unchecked worry, doctor's notes piling as regrets. Pushed too hard, lost the quiet one. Marla's texts to Clara turned confessional. She was the glue, now it's frayed. Lonely suppers, holidays halved, the unity mantra ringing hollow in a nest too empty. Boundaries with toxic family protect you in America. Family first isn't always right. Independence brings real freedom, the kind no obligation can touch. Thanks for sticking to the end. This story saved me. Hope it touches you. Share thoughts. Have you set family boundaries? Comment below.